I recommend go ahead and get things kicked off. If everybody's ready. 1, 2, 3, go. So thank you guys for those of you who are here. There's Mr. Dudley popping in. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming over today. Appreciate it. We will be recording this so we can send it out to all those people who are spending their time elsewhere, maybe on the beaches of the Hampton Roads. So, because they ain't here. So, but I do have a couple of cool things to share with you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit about interest rates, probably get maybe John's help with that. And then we're going to talk about the Long & Foster spring thing tomorrow. Hope you guys are all registered for that. If you're not, please get registered. I'd love to have a good showing from the Suffolk and Smithfield offices. That'd be awesome. And then I've got a couple of other things that we'll chat about. But as is customary, we'll kick things off with our super duper core partners. So why don't we start with ladies first? Miss Dawn.
All righty. Thank you, Jason. Hey, everybody. I'm glad to see, again, all these wonderful smiling faces. It's the best we can do for now, but it'll get us through until we can all be in person. I don't have anything too earth-shattering to share. I just wanted to thank those of you who popped into our last Zoominar and let you know that our next one is going to be Tuesday, May 18th at 1 o'clock. And it is going to be on the thing that everybody wants to know more about, and that's warranties. So everything you want to know about warranties and more, May 18th at 1 o'clock. So I'll have Stacia send the invite out once we get the flyers ready. So that's all I have.
Man, that's awesome. I think that's going to be a really popular topic because we've all got questions about home warranties and, you know, what's covered and what's not covered and, you know, how much are they and, you know, do they cover the seller? Do they cover the buyer? How does this work? And so are there deductibles? So yeah, that should be a really good class, Dawn. I thank you for bringing that one to us.
Sure, no problem.
Great. So, and just as a reminder, Dawn doesn't just do homeowners insurance and home warranties. She does all types of insurance. So if you know someone who's considering making an insurance claim or change, we don't want any claims. We just want change. So definitely encourage them to reach out to Dawn and let her give them a very competitive quote.
Yes, so, thank you.
Awesome. Brian, how's Safe Title Group, my friend?
Oh, good. Great. Things are booming. So thank you. Now, we sent this out, Stacia, on our next class, our next CEPLE class. I appreciate all that came to our fraud class. I got a lot of good comments on that one. But this one's going to be on Virginia Mechanic Liens and Construction Loans. So 2 hours of great question and answer, free. It's all free. So that's going to be a great class. So please sign up. When you see the flyer, you just click on where it says register. You fill out all your information, and then you'll get the Zoom invite right from Matt from Title Resources, one of our underwriters. So you do it early. Once you click in, you'll get a Zoom invite. I'm getting some people, we had like 29 and about 5 people after the class started last time, they were emailing me. We didn't get an email invite. It comes from Title Resources after you click this on. So I can't help you after the class starts because they record it and they put it on Zoom for your attendance and then report it to DPOR. So any questions on this one? I don't see everybody on the screen. I see myself, Dawn, and Jason. So that's all I'm seeing on my screen right now. Let's see. We had a great month in April. I just wrote down a few names. I tell you what, Evelyn had 3 closings. Are you on there, Evelyn?
Yeah, she's
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
You're here. So that was fantastic. And we're doing one on Friday for you. So you're on fire.
Thanks.
Sheena had 2. Marvella, we had 2. We just closed one for you. It was a miracle closing, I thought, but they all are. Jason Everett, Michael Gray, Soren, Kelly Foster. That was another miracle closing. A Friday night with the traffic the tunnel was shut down apparently, and it was all red on her phone. So I literally went to the side of the road, you know, that end strip for the 2 miles, and cut off 2 miles of traffic down to get to Bridge Road. And it was incredible. I thought, man, this is a risk, but it's Kelly Foster. I got to get this deal closed, you know, and we got it done. So that was a miracle that I didn't get a ticket. Then we had, who else? Josh Gooden, Jason, I think you had 1 or 2 in there. Jason Rollins, Adrian Smith, Julie Sell, and it's just a crazy month. I was out a few days too. Some of you all may know this or not, but I did get remarried, so I was out for a little bit.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it was exciting. We had to have just a little family gathering. We're going to have another reenactment in August at the what's that, Aviation Museum. So we'll have some more fun in the future when this COVID goes away. So that's all. I've been kind of busy, obviously. So
You have been busy, man. That's fantastic. Congratulations. I didn't
Thank you.
realize that you had tied the knot. That's awesome. So you're talking about the Aviation Museum in Hampton?
no, the one in Pungo.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well,
So
make sure that I get an invite to that. I'd love to be there to support you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Well, we're hoping that it's going to be a go forward for that. We've got all the money and everything was sent to August, so we're hoping that it's going to come to fruition.
Okay, excellent. And I want to thank you too for bringing these continuing education and post-license education classes to us. As we get busy selling real estate and talking to people, sometimes we forget about, the requirement to complete post-license education and continuing education. And so anytime we have an opportunity to collect some free hours and check that off of our box, I think is fantastic. So it's really cool that you guys are doing that. So thank you for that. And you guys who maybe still need your post-license education, don't forget you've got to get 30 hours in your first year. And I know we've got a handful of first-year agents here, so make sure that you don't forget about that and participate in these free classes when you can. And then of course Mosley online. Mosley is a great resource for when you do happen to wait to the last minute and you're missing some hours. You can go to Mosley and cram them in generally for free. And I see Dudley smiling over there. I know that that's probably something he's done once or twice.
Put the link in the chat box.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a link there to Mosley, and they do offer free post-license and continuing education for all of us here. And I don't know why they do it. I don't know how they make money, but the fact is that they do it and they report to DPOR. So I'm good with it. So, all right, that being said, John, how are things looking in the mortgage world, my friend? And I've got a slide that I'll share maybe at the conclusion. The prediction is, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the prediction seems to be interest rates in the low 3s for the next year.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Or I guess good afternoon, I should say. I just crossed over that threshold. So, rate-wise, it's impossible to know for sure. The forecast is right now that they're going to be relatively stable at their current levels, which is the low 3s. So we always talk about, let me go backwards. We've been spoiled with low rates for the last decade, and which is great. In our market, we love low rates. They kind of add fuel to the fire of an already hot market. And they're driven by a lot of factors, but mostly right now they're driven by the fact that the economy is at a point where they want to spur monetary policy to keep rates low, to keep investment going on, as far as keep money cheap, so companies keep on borrowing, all that good stuff, and investing and growing their businesses, all that good stuff. That's the thought. What could push rates up would be the government deciding to increase their base rate, the benchmark rate, or the economy itself catching fire and basically going at a point where you're seeing earnings come in way above expectations, or the economy expands at a level in which it surprises experts. But right now, the Fed has kind of committed to keeping rates low, they've said into 2023. So that is not the sole driver of mortgage rates, but it's one thing that people look at when they're kind of determining where rates are expecting to go. And we see right now the forecast is that they're going to stay at the kind of current level, which I would love to see. They're not maybe going to be down in the mid twos, but it's probably a good thing, because that just means that the economy is starting to improve a little bit. You don't want rates that low for that long a period of time. This means that the economy is not much lower they can go. That means the economy is doing really poorly at that point. So seeing a slow uptick in rates is probably a good thing. And honestly, if we saw rates come up to 3.5%, wouldn't surprise me. We were actually there not that long ago, a couple of weeks to maybe a month ago, we saw a spike, and that the market thought that was going to be a continuation of a rate hike. And that's kind of calmed down a little bit. So we'll see kind of where that goes. But we've kind of settled in right now into this nice little pocket of rates of just right around 3% for conventional, money conventional, and for government, FHA and VA into the mid twos, which is fantastic. So we always talk about how that impacts our payment, and that's key as far as the conversation you have with your clients when you're talking about price versus cost, right? So if you have a lot of people who say, well, I'm going to wait a year because the prices are just out of control. Well, let's say the prices stay the same, they stabilize instead of going up, but the rates go up by 0.5 point or a point. Well, what does that do to the payment? So that's a kind of conversation that you guys can have, and not to pressure anybody, but to know that it's not always just with the prices. It's what's really impactful as far as a buyer, it's the payment. What's the payment going to be? So that rate is very, very important. And obviously, the higher the loan amount, which usually correlates with the higher sales price, the higher the loan amount, the more the interest rate impacts the payment, dollar by dollar. The lower the sales price, lower loan amount, doesn't really impact it that much. So once you get above that $300,000 mark, $300,000 mark, sales price wise, that's when we kind of really start to see each eighth of a point really starting to make a difference on the monthly payment. But is that kind of what you're looking for me to cover, Jason, or anything else?
Yeah.
As far as like projections?
I've heard it said that 1% in rate is equivalent to about 10% in purchasing power. And so if you're talking about a $300,000 house, that's a $30,000 reduction in sale price effectively if their rate goes up just 1%. And so, I mean, whether it's 0.5% or 0.75%, every interest rate adjustment does make a difference to someone's ability to purchase and qualify, in fact. So it is something to keep in mind, and we do want to encourage people or educate people that while the rates are low, it is probably the best time to buy. So no doubt about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's rate wise. Yeah, I think hopefully we'll stay where we are. I think that's kind of the consensus right now. At least short and middle term is kind of staying close to where we are now. We'll see if that's the case. Other than that, just generally, here's a good slide of the projections. Is this from?
Yeah, this is from Keeping Current Matters. This was their blog post. I think it was today. And so, what they do is they ask all of these, industry specialists, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, National Association of Realtors, for their projections. And you can see going ahead for the next year, everybody seems to be, pretty conservative, except for maybe the Mortgage Bankers Association. But if you average those out, they think, and of course these guys have been wrong time and time again, but they are the best in the business. And so it looks like maybe 3.5% going across the board for the next year, which is still, when you look at the 100-year average, it's historical. So yeah.
It is, and we forget how low these rates are. And we think this is somewhat normal. I hear people all the time saying, oh man, 3% is great, but what happened to 2.75 or what happened to 2.5? They're complaining about 3% as a rate. And it blows your mind sometimes because, we've been in the business long enough where we saw, personally, I haven't seen anything more than probably 6%, 6 or 7%. But, if you've been around long enough, you've seen even higher than that, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 or higher, up to 18, 9% back in the 80s. But super low rates. And it's something that we should be not taking for granted and shouting from the rooftops and making sure people know that's out there. And, rates are something that I don't like to talk about that much because I feel like it's easy to talk about, but it is important. It's definitely something that drives at the nuts and bolts level of everything we do because it impacts the payment. And at the end of the day, like really the cash to close and the payment for a buyer are the most important thing. So it impacts all that stuff. So other than that, again, just, stuff we've talked about in the last couple of calls that I'm seeing more and more lately are appraisal issues and appraisals coming in low. So just have that conversation up front with your buyer and or seller regarding the possibility of that happening and have a game plan of like, hey, okay, we're accepting this offer, it's over appraisal or it's up, we can kind of price this high. And yes, we got an offer, but it might be hard to comp for whatever reason. Conversation up front, it's easier to kind of pivot if it comes in lower. Because if you don't, especially if you're a seller, it's hard to digest the fact of, hey, I have a buyer who just ratified a contract, willing to pay the money, and now just the lender says that, sorry, we can't lend you the money based on because of this appraisal coming in low. The seller in their mind has already calculated those net proceeds. They've already spent that money. They have that money in their head as far as what I'm going to walk away with. And we just need to really do a really good job of prepping, I think, the seller about that possibility of that appraisal coming in potentially low. And okay, if this happens, what do we do? What's the plan? Here's plan A, here's plan B. We can always try to get a reconsideration of the value or dispute it. But if that doesn't happen, what do? Do we put it back in the market or do we renegotiate? All that good stuff. So try to have that conversation early because it'll be beneficial for everybody. I'm not saying it's going to be for every transaction, but it's just becoming more and more prevalent with the rising prices. When they're on the edge of a leading market or increasing market, it's just harder and harder to find comps, right? Because you're leaving everything in the dust, and it's just something that we're dealing with all the time. So everything else as far as guideline wise is kind of the same as it's been last month or two. They're starting to relax a little bit on some of the COVID related guidelines. We're seeing some of those say, hey, we're going to lift those in end of spring, which is going to be a good lift for us because it's really been dragged down operations to have to re-verify certain things that are related to COVID that were necessary. But now we're getting past from an economic standpoint of things being open and things being operational. And if you're going to fail, you would have already done it. Generally, no, not for everybody. It depends on the situation, but we're kind of gotten past the rougher times economically is what the consensus is. And now at this point, it's just because they're getting more data flowing in from loans that have been originated during COVID. So they can kind of be more confident in the level of loans performing. So all that stuff is positive. That's what we want to see. Hopefully we see more of that. We see loosening somewhat of some of the guidelines that we've saw tightened over COVID. But yeah, everything's kind of pretty much back to pre-pandemic levels from a lending perspective, except for a couple small things. But it's rate wise, we're still low, and program wise, we're pretty much back to what we had, except for some random non-standard programs that it's a little slower to get back. But yeah, again, appreciate all the business. I want to give a shout out to Sage for all the running around they do. Again, it's huge for us to have someone who can meet people where they are, as opposed to you having to be in an attorney's office. It gives all of us a lot of flexibility, and just it can really make the transaction much more comfortable for everybody. So thank you, and obviously thanks to Don for always helping out with all the insurance needs and jumping in there when we need something quick, and getting the home warranties in when we have excess seller quick on that too. So it's obviously a team effort, and definitely appreciate all your support and yours too, Jason, for keeping the team all together.
Yes, thanks.
Cool, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jonathan, this is Cordell. I have a question for you.
Sure.
How are the appraisals coming in as far as new construction? How was that done?
Yeah, so it's actually an interesting question, solely because the cost of materials is gone up substantially, right? So you'll have a builder who has two identical homes. If one was built, if there is a development, one was built 6 months ago and one's built today. Well, just the cost of materials can be substantially different. So, but new construction, the appraisers, again, this is true for every transaction, they go off of the purchase contract and they do everything they can to try to justify the price from that perspective, unless they can't. So when it comes to new construction, the key is, making sure that the first home that sold had the value, and then they generally try to stay within very close proximity to the value that was from the initial sale, because that's what they have to do. Because so if that first appraisal came in low, it can be hard for the appraiser to justify the price, but they can use plans and specs that the house doesn't have to be completed. So a lot of, especially the bigger ones, require that the appraiser be completed before construction even begins, just to make sure there's no issues there. Ryan Homes wants the appraisal done. So we'll get the plans and specs, send them to the appraiser so they have an idea what the size of the property will be like, and then they'll go ahead and complete the appraisal. Obviously, it'll be subject to a final inspection and a certificate of occupancy at the end. But if you want to do an appraisal before construction is completed, you use the plans and specs along with the purchase agreement to get the size of the property, the quality of the finishes, all that stuff. Sometimes there's a model home, sometimes there's pictures supplied by the builder, but that's kind of how they work. But they usually sometimes they'll work in tandem with the builder to say, hey, where you come up with this price? But they usually, somehow for new construction, just like a car, there is a bit of leeway that appraisers give new construction just for the point of it being new construction. It's like a new car. You just have that. There is a extra little bit that you can kind of squeeze out of it being a new construction opposed to being a resale, just the extra, what consumers believe to be that the additional benefit or value of a property.
It's the smell, man. It's the smell, right? It's that new house,
construction,
new car smell. Yeah.
I know. I wonder if Long and Foster has that and the scent. Look at those candles. New home smell. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
No problem. Hopefully that answered your question, Cordell.
It did. My next follow-up to that is, how is the VA loan? Are there any special rules when it comes to that with the VA?
No, there's not any special rules. It's done the same way. So you can order the appraisal via obviously VA appraisals are unique in the fact that it's ordered through the VA portal. So it's the VA assigns the appraiser, but they would perform the appraisal the same way. They would use the plan specs. They would go in there and generate the value. The difference with VA is if they are seeing just from the initial glance that the value may come in low, they'll initiate the Tidewater process, which gives both the buyer and seller sides an ability to provide comps or provide more information to try to justify the value, as opposed to conventional and FHA, which it'll just come in low.
Okay.
The VA would potentially reach out and say, hey, look, I'm having issues justifying this value. Can you let me know what you use? But VA would use the same general procedure.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions for our amazing core partners before we turn the page? All right, I'm turning the page. Thank you, guys. So I want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the first inaugural Spring Summit. It's all company Spring Summit. And you do have to register in order to get the link. And if you register, I'm sure they'll send out a recording after the event, because it's a long event. It's going to be several hours tomorrow. It starts at 9 a.m. It goes through 2:45. But they've got some featured guests and speakers, and they're going to try to make it as fun and interactive as possible. And there's a few surprises here. that they mentioned that they can't even talk about right now. So I think they're going to make it a good time. We've got a couple of keynote speakers that will be with us tomorrow. So I hope that you guys plan to attend as much of this as you can tomorrow live. But if not, please, take the time to register so that you can get the recording. And I know this is kind of interesting. This Dr. Harry Cohen will be speaking tomorrow, who apparently owns a restaurant called the Black Pearl in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And as a kid, I spent some time growing up there in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So pretty cool. So I wanted to remind you guys about this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Please take the time to register. As I said, I'd love to have a good showing from our offices. I think that'd be a lot of fun for everybody. And then I also want to remind you guys, so when you go to the cafe, you can literally go to the cafe in your web browser there. Just type in cafe, cafe.lnf.com. It's going to bring you to this page here. So when you're on this page, obviously you can scroll down and you can find Moxie Engage, Moxie Present, your portal, your agent statements, all that sort of thing. But there's so much training and resources here available for you guys. I don't want you to, get distracted by life and forget to study. Study your craft, study your trade, listen to other people, and learn little bits here and there so that you can be a better service provider to your buyers and sellers. And so when you're on the homepage of the cafe here and you go to the very top left corner, you see that right there. It says SharePoint, and you've got this little pancake here. If you click on that, one of the things that you're going to see is Stream. So you see the little Stream here. They have a mobile app for Stream as well. You can log in with your Long & Foster credentials. But if you click on Stream, it's going to take you to our video training resource library. And it is vast, very, very vast. New and transfer agents, all of the Success Path classes that they do, 2, 3, 4 classes a week, they're all recorded. They're all saved right here in Stream, so that if you can't participate live, you can always come back here and catch that. So I just don't want you guys to feel like you don't know where to go. If you want to learn about Moxie, getting all of your people loaded into Moxie or Moxie 101, they teach this class 2 or 3 times a month, and it's always recorded. So make sure that you're coming in here to the cafe and to Stream to find the training that you're looking for. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Stacia and I can point you in the right direction. It's kind of neat, the Stream thing, because you can follow the channels that you're interested in. So there's 48 people following the Moxie Engage channel, 63 people following the New and Transfer Agent channel. And so anytime there's an updated training loaded, you'll get a notification so that you can come back here and find that. So very, very good stuff there. I wanted you guys to see that and know that you can come in here 24 hours a day and find the information, the training, and the knowledge that you want. And there are many, 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 many successful agent interviews talking about the tools and the techniques that they use to be successful in their businesses. It's the Tips from the Top series. So I would encourage you, if you do have questions about, getting your business off the ground or expanding your business, go and listen to some of the people who have already done it and are doing it now. There's nothing better than listening to someone who's already done what you want to do and have them help you through this process. That being said, this is pretty cool. So my mom found this today somewhere. And so for those of us who aren't, builders or engineers or, necessarily craftspeople, we may have questions from time to time about what the individual components of the home construction might look like. And so she found this little chart here, and I thought it was kind of cool. You can go to just about any section of this house and match that up with a number and figure out what that's called. So 33, for example, is a ridge beam. I didn't know that. I called it the top of the roof. So it's a ridge beam. So FYI, if you want that, we can send that out to you. Absolutely. I'll try to remember to include it in the TGIF as an attachment. But if you want it sooner than that, just let me know and I'll send it to you. It's kind of cool. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you guys today is, on your RAIN dashboard, when you log in here, You can look down, obviously you can customize this dashboard any way that you want to and move things around and organize it how you would like to see it. But under your Market Watch widget, it tells you every day how many new listings, how many back on markets, price decreases, price increases, pending, solds, expireds, fall throughs. It lets you know all of that. And it's really interesting to look at that. At least, check it out every couple of days so that you have data that is fresh and top of mind, so that when you're talking to people out there on the street, talking to potential buyers and sellers, you can let them know what your local market is doing. And of course, you can customize this. You can have more than one if you would like. Maybe you want to watch a specific zip code or area or neighborhood. You can certainly do that. This one is taking into consideration the entire Hampton Roads market. Everything that RAIN covers is included here. But for the last 7 days, you can see that we have 891 new listings go in, and we sold 975 properties. This is the dilemma, right? So it's not that we don't have inventory, right? There's not an inventory shortage necessarily. It's that everything we list sells immediately. So we sold 975 homes in the last 7 days here in Hampton Roads, and we only listed 891. But the fact is, we listed 891 homes, right? That's a lot of inventory. It's just being absorbed by the buyer demand right now. So make sure that you guys are watching this on at least a daily or every couple of days. You're checking to see where the market is, maybe in your neighborhood or your community or your city. So this is the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, we listed 139 properties and we sold 170. Oh, that's absolutely incredible. But you can break this down to any geographic area you would like to watch, because it's great content for you to share with those people that you have a relationship or some influence with. So, and don't forget, I hope to see you guys here tomorrow. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to offer. I'm hoping to win a prize or get some free stuff. Anyways. Any questions about any of that, y'all?
Well, I wanted to know how to get to a specific neighborhood when you were just on the cafe, because I was trying to do that on my own. I'm trying to do some catch up. My last day of work was the 30th, so I can shift my focus. I'm so glad. And I feel like I got to catch up. Excuse me, I got to catch up on a lot of stuff. I'm trying to do the launch and all of that, and I'm done. So
Good.
I'm trying to catch up to learn all of this real estate lingo and learning how to operate in the cafe. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm operating from behind, but I'm going to do it. And I'm planning to do some farming and just get myself together at this point. So I was trying to work in that one yesterday, and some of this stuff just kind of zooming in on a specific neighborhood and trying to just get some things I couldn't do it. I'm so sorry. So I was just asking that question before I put it in chat. How do I get to a specific neighborhood on that you was just on
the RAIN page?
Yeah.
So let me see if I can figure that out for us real quick. So for example, we can say customize.
Okay, customize.
And we customize, and then we go in here and we find the area that we want to search. So let's say Surrey, for example. Well, you're not going to Surrey anymore.
No,
right?
I don't want Surrey. That was just
Area 61.
You used to work there, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, so we do 61 Northeast Suffolk, and we're going to save that. And Market Watch has been customized now. And so you can see for area 61, Northeast Suffolk, we've had 3 new listings come on the market in the last 24 hours, and we've had 8 properties reported as sold. So we can go to our 7-day Market Watch. We've listed 32 properties and sold 37. So just like that, you just come down here and hit customize.
Okay, customize.
And then you can set it up however you want, because you can have it watch 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes in your neighborhood if that's what you want.
Okay, thank you.
And then I'm just going to reset.
Jason,
Jason, if you
Yep.
go one step, if you want to show her one step further though, you can go down to the neighborhood search. You know, like I'm always going into it and pulling up, you know, Kiln Creek or Eagle Harbor, or you can actually go into neighborhood.
No, Jason, she means down in your customize.
So customize.
So like down where it says subdivision name, you could pick a subdivision name
Right.
that you're
And
specific.
then just type Gatlin Point or Eagle
Okay.
Harbor or whatever.
Riverfront.
Yeah, Riverfront. You
Okay,
got it,
yeah.
Cornell.
And that's exactly what I was trying to look for, my neighborhood, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So thank you.
Well, they have,
Karen.
okay, now when you type it in, it has to populate. Otherwise, they're not paying for the, neighborhoods have to pay for this service. So
Okay.
if it doesn't populate automatically that you could click on it, then it's not in here.
Okay,
Like type in Kiln Creek, Jason, if you would for a minute, okay?
Yeah, I think the riverfront's not in 61. It would show
See how
up.
it populated and it gave you the 033? So if you
Uh-huh.
click on that, then you can do it automatically through there.
okay, thank you.
Okay. And Jason, can you kind of tell everybody about our Let's Talk Real Estate on Fridays?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. So we are, my mom obviously has been my mentor all of my life. She's a wonderful realtor and an incredible teacher. So we are trying to figure out a way to make her more accessible to more people more often. And so what we've decided to do is to create this theme called Let's Talk Real Estate. And it's specifically designed for those of you who are newer to the business to have access to her and I, and get your questions answered, go through training. You know, we happened to get together this past Saturday and go through the purchase agreement in detail. And so I want you guys to make yourselves, you know, aware, put it on your calendar that we are doing this thing on Fridays, specifically designed for the newer agents that have questions about getting started. And try to attend, whether it's on Zoom or in person. Obviously, we'd like to do more and more in person as the COVID restrictions continue to get lifted. But please know that we would love to see you on the Let's Talk Real Estate on Fridays. And I can't think of any better teacher than my mom. She teaches obviously the principles of real estate. She teaches CE and PL and launch. And so if you have questions, let's get those questions answered and make this real estate thing work for you guys.
At what time?
Well, what I've been doing, Cordell, is sending out an email. So far only to the newer agents, but if you want to be included in that, then let me know by email and I'll include you in the Zoom link that I send out on Friday mornings. It's usually at 3 o'clock. And it's an open discussion. So we've just been generally talking about the real estate market. And then if something pops up as a specific topic that an agent would like to cover, then we make arrangements for that. And that's how it came about that last Saturday, we actually met at the office and went over the contract itself. So I'll be sending out, you know, the Zoom link on Friday morning. Anybody that wants to be included, just shoot me an email and let me know. And I wanted to just kind of take a minute and say that over the last few months, I've been auditing. I am a broker, but I've also been auditing the broker classes again. And I will be starting to teach the broker classes in the fall. And Jason, that's where that Anatomy of a House came from. It came from Pat Snyder's broker class that I am auditing.
Okay.
So, which I thought was great too, because I don't know what to call. I mean, somebody says facial board and I look up and think, yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at, but okay.
Looks like a 2x4 to me.
Looks like a house to me. All
Very
right,
good.
thanks.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for that reminder. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, any questions, you guys? We're going to go ahead and wrap it up now if you don't have any questions. And I appreciate each one of you being here and tuning in as we do this each Wednesday. And
Jason,
don't
I have
forget
one question before you leave.
Yeah, go for it.
What was the name of that site you told me to help with doing CMAs?
Oh, the NARRPR, the Realtor Property Resource. Is that the one?
Okay, that's it.
NARRPR.com. Yeah. That's a great source available to us as realtors. It's free to us, and they've got all kinds of great tools there, and I use them quite a bit for doing CMAs. So definitely check out the NARRPR.com. So, May 26th, you guys, May 26th, put that on your calendar. We're gonna have a very special guest, David Hancock, author, entrepreneur, founder of Morgan James Publishing, will be with us on May 26th at 12 o'clock. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that to come. So,
Can we still do phone duty?
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, man. Phone was ringing off the hook yesterday. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so I guess I need to come in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah. Let Stacia
Learn it.
know
So-
what your
so-
availability is.
So what we do for duty, what we've been doing for duty is, if you come in, undo the phones, make sure you forward them when you leave, because if not, the phones won't be transferred to any answering service. And so those calls that would be coming in would just be ringing in an empty office after hours. So please make sure that you do that. I had sent out an email with a whole bunch of stuff in it. Clearly nobody read it. So if you do have specifics for, like I said, rentals or phone duty times and stuff, certainly go in. Give me a heads up that you're doing them so that I know that I'm not to expect any duty calls through my text messages, because they all come to me when the phones are forwarded. So just know that I need a heads up. Just, hey, I'm going to undo the phones. I'm going to be here a couple hours. Forward them when you're done. If you need instructions on how to do any of that for all you new agents, I'm there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I can certainly show you how to answer the telephone, undo it and put it back. Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see you guys come in and take advantage of that. You know, some days the phone rings and some days the phone don't ring, but you never know which day might be that call you've been waiting
We've
for.
even had walk-ins. I mean, it's
Yeah, that's right.
People do come. I
I
mean, people are back
Monday.
out and about.
was
so.
here last Sunday, you guys. I got to share this story. I was here last Sunday. Debbie and I were here. We were vacuuming and taking the trash out and stuff. And this random dude just walks in and he says, "Yeah, I want to talk to somebody about buying a house." And bada bing, bada boom. Jonathan's pre-qualified him. He's working with one of you amazing agents. I won't mention any names, but he's out there now. He's a buyer, and he just literally walked in off the street Sunday. So don't hesitate to come in here and prop these doors open and hang out and look for people to come see you. So very, very cool stuff. Yeah. All right. That is it. Thank you guys so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye. Bye.